What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name's Alyssa, and I hope that you guys are doing okay today. Now, let's go ahead and get into today's topic. It is that fear is the perfect excuse. Fear is the perfect alibi. How many of you watching this video right now feel like you really want to make a change? You care genuinely about being a better person. You genuinely want to change, but you are fearful. There's something keeping you stuck. And my friend, that is fear. It's the perfect alibi because you're able to blame your circumstances on just the fact that you're not qualified enough or the fact that you have never experienced this before. Then that is socially acceptable because all of us identify with that feeling and have before. So it's socially acceptable to say I'm just too scared to do it or it's not for me when really it's fear. It's a fear-based programming that is telling you you can't have that, right? Or you can't do that, or you can't be that, you can't say that. Another thing that came to me when we feel like that, a lot of times it's not your own emotions. Do you ever see kids feeling like that? Young kids, toddlers? No, they're just free. They're just happy. They're trying different things. And they're okay to make mistakes because they weren't taught to fear making a mistake or looking stupid. Yes, society didn't implant that thought into their heads. Yes, pay attention to how they interact with the world versus how an adult might interact with the world. I'm not saying that to go around acting like children. No. But fear is the perfect excuse, right? When you say the reason why you haven't moved to a new city is because you're comfortable where you are, what you really mean is, I'm scared that I won't find a new life, new friends, new hobbies. It's keeping you stuck, but it's something that you've always really wanted and really dreamed of, but instead you're just gonna settle for comfortability. And what is comfortable kills. And I mean that in the best way possible. There's absolutely nothing wrong with living a comfortable life in the slightest. That's some people's preference. But in my experience, when things are really comfortable, things start to get stagnant, things start to feel a little just leveled out, and that's okay. But for people like yourself, if you're watching this video, I bet that you're probably into just doing better things. And maybe it's not better to some people, but it means a lot to you. You think about those things a lot, you ruminate on them, but you may not necessarily take action on it. I know that's something that I personally struggle with. If you're watching this, that's something that I also have an issue with as well. How do you go from being scared of what people will think about you if you do this thing, or if you say this thing, or if people disagree about you? Who cares, right? With YouTube or social media, it's the greatest rejection exposure therapy ever. Let's talk about rejection exposure therapy. I want to cite my source. I believe it was in the 4-hour work week. I don't remember. Rejection exposure therapy, right? This is putting yourself in positions where you're going to be uncomfortable or judged. And social media is perfect for that because you are putting yourself up for judgment, up for grabs. And let's say that you share an opinion. I did a video a couple weeks ago that people weren't too happy about. And I look at those metrics, and to me, it just indicated that it really struck a chord in some people. Now, is that my fault or my problem? No, it's not. How someone feels about what you choose to do is not your problem unless you're deliberately trying to hurt that person. The fear of rejection, the fear of someone not agreeing with your opinion, the fear of not being liked is keeping you stuck, keeping you behind. I can relate. How do you think I'm getting on camera making this video? I am sharing my experiences, sharing things that are on my mind with hopes that you watching this, because you're similar to me, will be able to relate, and it might even unlock something in you that you had been struggling to come to terms with. Or maybe you might be able to share this with someone who needs it anyways. I don't want to keep going on a tangent, but it's just so freaking funny when you think about all the reasons why a lot of us haven't started a new chapter of our lives or started something always dreamed of as a kid. And here comes the big bad world telling you, who are you to dream? Who are you to want that? Who are you to think you deserve that? No, you have to shift that voice in your head. we have to say, I hear what people may say or people may think or people may perceive or whatever your case is. Go over in your mind the worst case scenario. Think about the situation. And now that you've done that, would you get through that though? Let's say everybody judges you for changing career paths to something less respectable. Or let's say somebody's going to judge you because you just don't want the standard wife and kids and you want to pursue your career. Will you get through it? If the answer is yes, then the fear is fabricated. The fear is manufactured. The fear is probably projected from other people's fears who may not have believed in themselves like you do. Because if it wasn't meant for you, you wouldn't have thought about it. You wouldn't keep thinking about it every day. Welcome back. My mom called me. This is the second part of the video, and I will be referring to the notes throughout the video. Think of the worst case scenario and ask yourself, what am I so afraid of? I'm afraid people are going to judge me. What if everybody laughs at you? You're going to feel embarrassed. You're going to feel humiliated. With that humiliation, what's going to happen after that? I'm not a medical professional, but you can look it up because it is cited online as well. The reason why I feel that this helps is because it helps to alleviate some of those unnecessary fears, some of those irrational fears. A lot of times what you'll find is those fears are psychological, not like, oh, someone's gonna hit me if no one likes what I say, or people don't like me, they're gonna hurt me. That's what I feel like that mechanism in our brain, where it was really to protect against immediate dangers and the sympathetic system engages, it was for that reason. Now with so many different other factors, mental factors, it will engage the same way it would if we saw a tiger or bear, but we don't need that because there is no tiger or bear. It's just the fear of rejection or the fear of failing. We are on the second part, how to overcome. Expose yourself to this fear. I already talked about that. So this could look like going to a venue full of people, maybe not a lot of people, right? But more than you're used to. Or this could look like asking that person out if you think that they're attractive. Ask them out. And even if you're 100% certain, not that confident in you, they may say no. Hey, this is step one. If you keep doing that, eventually the fear of that person saying that, oh, I'm not interested, will be gone. And then you won't care and it also builds confidence too. Another thing is I just talked about this a little bit, but it is to identify the cause. Why do I have this fear of speaking in front of crowds? Well, it's because I feel like I will stumble over my words and be stupid and sound stupid or incompetent. Why am I scared of looking incompetent? Why do you want to be perfect? You just keep going. Oh, I want everything to go right. If that's the pinpoint of the fears, you want everything to go right. Realize that you can't control everything and not everything is going to go right. Sometimes you will look incompetent, or a lot of the times people don't even notice what you're noticing because they're too focused on themselves. Realizing that the pinpoint of this fear is at the stem of either failure or rejection. I think those are the big two. It really takes the pressure off of you because you realize, oh crap, here I go, making this bigger than it needs to be. If I look stupid or incompetent, who cares? The world's still going to be spinning. I'm still me. I'm still a great person outside of messing up or someone judging me or not liking me. Who cares? Another thing is, this is a more immediate course of action you can take. Let's say you're in the moment right now and you are starting to feel panicked. You're starting to feel like, oh my God, they just called on me to speak in front of like 50 people. Or let's say that there's that person that you're interested in. They're walking up to you. You're just in a new environment with new people and you're feeling that panic set in. Here's what you do. Okay, the immediate actions are to trigger the vagus nerve. In order to signal the vagus nerve, I believe, if I can't remember correctly from anatomy, it's back here. I don't know if you've ever noticed, but if you're uncomfortable, some people have their back subconsciously or consciously, it triggers that nerve back there to calm down. What you can also do to increase blood flow to that region and engage the parasympathetic system are deep breaths. Is someone just called on you, or you see someone attractive at a party, or you're in a new environment, new people. That deep breath is going to signal to your body that we're okay, we're not in danger. Another thing, mindfulness, catching that thought, taking that thought captive. My mom mentioned this to me, and it was just such a game changer. Taking that thought captive, holding it captive. So let's say everyone's going to judge me. That thought comes. They're thinking this about me. Everybody's thinking this. Let's say they were. They're not. Take that thought captive and realize, you know what? I know that that's not true. And even if that was the case, I know who I am. I know that I'm a great person with great qualities. And if they don't agree or align with that, then that's fine. But I'm still me and I still have a lot to offer. Taking that thought captive as soon as it comes, of reshifting the narrative, because when that happens, you can't control the negative that comes in my experience. Whenever a negative thought comes or suggestion comes to me, I know that for one, it's not mine. For two, it's irrational because that's not at my base who I am. That's not the base of who you are. You are more than that thought telling you that you're weird, or more than that thought telling you that you're incompetent, or more than that thought telling you that people don't like you, or more than that thought telling you that you said the wrong thing. Nope. Reshift that thought and say, I know who I am. I meant what I said, and I didn't mean any ill harm by it. So I'm okay with what I said, or I'm okay with this person who appears to be judgmental. That's not my problem. If you're being the best version of yourself, or you're being a kind, genuine person, the irrational fear is only there to protect you, yes, but ultimately it's just going to hold you back from expressing that true nature of yourself, expressing how wonderful you really are. I know I went off on a tangent there, but when we signal the vagus nerve that's related to the parasympathetic system, it tells our body, like, hey, we're calm, there is no threat, false alarm, there is no threat, everything's good. This is something that outside of research, I didn't see this, but I thought about it. If you find yourself slouching, if you're a sloucher, try to create a more straight line connection so that all your systems can be aligned and there's a straight connection. Because think of a charger that is a little loose or a little wobbly and floppy. It's not stable, it's not straight. I feel like it's the same for our bodies, right? When your body's all hunched over and you can't get proper blood flow throughout the body. So not only does this enhance the appearance of confidence, yes, for aesthetic purposes, but it also allows you to get more quality breaths in. Just something I thought would be nice to mention. I don't want to make this too long videos. Focus on what you can control. Can you control? Can you control that you might look stupid, or someone might think that you said something stupid? You can't control that. You just can't. If somebody doesn't vibe with your personality, or they don't really like you, or fail a couple times, or maybe 10 times, maybe 20 times, that's gonna happen. But think of what you can control. Let's say that didn't perform well, right? Or asked that person out, they rejected me, or I wanted this opportunity, but it didn't come to me. What can I control? Well, I'm going to prepare next time, or I'm just going to try again. That's what you can control, but let go of what you can't. Let go of the fact that people might judge me. Who cares? What can you control? Yourself. Are you a good person? Do you like who you are? If that's true, then keep doing what you're doing and don't let that fear keep you from moving forward. Serenity prayer. This is something that I grew up with. I grew up in a Christian household, very Christian household. But if you're not religious, you can skip over this segment. Repeat after me. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. Provide me courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just saying that verbally out loud made me feel so much better, because it's like, wow, it took a weight off of my shoulders. God is going to take care of this anguish that I feel, because he's going to give me the wisdom to know that I can't control this fear of what might happen if I choose to do this. What I can control is how I show up, or how I try again next time, right? So even just if you want it before a stressful event, let's say you have to speak in front of an audience, repeat that prayer to yourself in the restroom. I remember before exams in college, sometimes I would go to the bathroom, pray, and say the serenity prayer like a mad woman just a couple times, and just breathe. Now, even if the test wasn't a banger, let's say I freaking bombed it, still I know that there is some sort of something that can be done. There's always a solution. There's always an answer. Even if you don't like that answer, even if it's studying all weekend for the second retake test, there's always an answer. I think that I've covered everything regarding what I wanted to talk about with fear, and how fear can be an alibi and an excuse. If you enjoyed this video, please do share, like, comment below, and subscribe to support all the things that we talk about here on this channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. I am uploading more frequently, as some of you probably have noticed. I'm very excited about that because, again, YouTube is something that's always been a passion of mine. I'm about to go off on a tangent. So if you gotta leave at this point, thank you for watching. But I had been doing YouTube since I was 10 or 11, and I stopped because of the very thing that we're talking about in this video, coincidentally. Just coming back to that as an adult has brought me so much joy. Interacting with you guys, it makes my day. So it's something that I think is so rewarding that money can't buy it. I'm gonna get off here now. Thank you again for watching and take care of yourselves. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.